in terms of the applications you can find it in. You can find it in Excel 2010. It's called Power Query. In Office 365, they call it Get and Transform. 2016, 29, Get and Transform. It's very confusing. They just changed the name on us in the middle of the night, but it's fantastic. It is a data mashup language. Tonight we're going to learn a little bit about the dev side, and then we'll learn a little bit about the DBA side. Altogether, though, it's going to be fun. So with that, I want to say welcome to using Power Query M to scrape the web. About me, I'm a Microsoft Certified Solutions Associate in BI Reporting, Microsoft Office Expert in Excel 2013 and Excel 2010, Microsoft Office Specialist, Excel 2010 Access 2013, a tortured author and owner-operator of a business that's not about to sell LLC. Chickenpox, never had. So if you have it, stay away from me tonight. And greatest of all time, I would say Ric Flair or Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. To be the best, you need to have a good dance partner. Our dance partner tonight is going to be Power Query M. If you'd like to follow along, go ahead and pull up that web link tonight. Keep the laptops open. So I guess I'm going in alone. With that, the setup. Oh, yeah, I can pull that back up. Give that a minute here. I can share this after the meeting as well. Matt, thanks for joining.
You do it, sorry.
Not too bad. All right, setup. It's in the Home tab of Power Query. We want to go to the Edit Queries option, and then you'll want to go to View. I'll go and pull this up here for us. So you go to Edit Queries. Oh, it's on my other window. Switch monitors. You want to go to the View tab. You want to turn on the formula bar. If you don't see it already, you can go to just over here on the left-hand side, New Query, Blank Query. And hopefully that should be enabled for you then. Being slow. All right, well, apparently it's just not letting me. Oh, there it goes. Formula bar enable. And let's go back to the presentation. A new feature in the File menu, Options and Settings, Options, Preview Features. That new From Web experience. That thing is money. I'm just letting you know, scraping the web, that thing is fantastic. Anybody enabling? Should I wait? Keep going? Keep the energy going? Excellent. All right, the basics. Before it feels foreign, I want it to feel familiar. So within the Power Query M language, you already know these things. Text, numbers, dates, times, binary, duration. You notice kind of a common feature here is that hash and then that data type. So we're thinking about our date time, our year, month, date. Year, month, date, hour, minutes, seconds. Time zone, if you're dealing with time zone data. Structured data values. These will be your list, your records, your tables. So within your list, you can store multiple data types. So we have our text. We also have a number. Within our records, we can create metadata. We can do whatever. Within our table, we can set the name of our category and then the individual rows. So you'll see cat is one row, comma, squiggly or curly, I don't know where you sit on that, and then dog. You have two rows with the title of animal. Disclaimers when it comes to web scraping. Read them, adhere to them. I don't want anyone going to jail over tonight's presentation, so don't be doing anything illegal or nefarious. Just, caution. Right there, I gave it to you. All right, so from the web. Let's start here with our from the web experience. We have the USDA food composition databases. I need a food. Somebody yell something out for me.
Hamburger.
What is it? Hamburger? You think they'll have it out here? Oh my God, they do. All right. I didn't know that a hamburger was classified as a food. I thought that was more of like a combination of things. All right, so we're going to jump back into our Power Query window now. We're going to go to Home. We're going to go to New Source from the web. If you didn't already, copy that web link with hamburger up here, this massive string. We're going to paste this in our basic here. Press OK. There we go. Connecting. We have our preview. We have our document, which is going to be your HTML. And then, a table. So that'll be our caret table. Close caret. Man, it doesn't get much better on the internet than that. Let's go ahead and press OK. Oh, fantastic. We're out there scraping the web, everyone. So we're going to do this about 30 more times, then we're just going to pen them all, and hopefully I'll have everybody out of here by about 8:30. That's cool. All right, there's got to be something better than that, right? So let's take a look back here at our M language. So on the Home tab, we're going to the Advanced Editor. We have this massive string. We have our data. We have our change type. Not a big fan of that. But we do have that hamburger right here in our QLOOKUP. Another food. Somebody. Pizza? What is with you people tonight? Nothing healthy, just all hamburgers and pizza. Oh, fantastic. We now have pizza. All right, so anytime we change that string in our query, we're going to get a new data table. So let's do a little edit here. We're going to make our own function. Yeah, definitely. Good call. There we go. Much better. All right, so we're going to do a open parenthesis. We're just going to call this food as, what's our data type for string? Anybody remember? Text? Did somebody say that? Yeah. That's what I thought. I thought somebody yelled out text in the back there. Got a rowdy bunch there for M tonight. And then we're going to do our goes to symbol. So it's going to be equals and then the greater than symbol. So we're going to pass in a parameter of food as text. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out of here real quick. Pull up this massive string of text. We don't really need or care about that. We just care about the good stuff here. So let me go to Notepad+. QLOOKUP equals pizza. So whenever you're looking at query strings from the web, you're going to notice the question mark. Then you'll see all the stuff kind of concatenated. We're going to delete that. Delete our ampersand QLOOKUP equals pizza. That is all we need to send a query to the website. So anytime you see that question mark, that will be your query string. I'm going to replace that now. Zoom back in. QLOOKUP equals. We're going to get rid of that. Do a little ampersand, concatenate. I'm telling you, it all feels familiar. Food. Back on out. Done. Oh, awesome. All right, another food. Kale. What? Kale? You went the exact opposite direction. All right. So we're now passing kale through our function. Another food. Strawberries. Awesome. Strawberry. Invoke function. Sweet. So it's a query language, but we can now create our own function which we can pass through variables. All right, so it's kind of that dev side of things now. Let's create our own table. We're going to do a new query here on our left-hand side. If you like using the new source menu, it's kind of up to you. Just a trick that I've learned is just right-click on over here. We're going to do a blank query. And we're going to go back to our advanced editor and our source. We're going to do that hash mark. So hash table, quotation. I'm going to do it on multi-lines just so you guys can kind of see it visually here. And then our first squiggly is going to be our name. So I'm going to call this one food, close squiggly, comma. This is going to be our rows, open squiggly, second squiggly, food. All right, what do we have? Strawberry, pizza. This is going to be a weird data set, but nobody out there is going to. We're going to do pizza and we're going to do hamburger. Come on. Tabs. Kill me. Let me zoom in on that for us. Here we go. Close that out. Table. Food. Kind of notice here the structure, our open squiggly and our closed squiggly in each row. So our strawberry, comma, pizza, comma, hamburger, comma. So when we start building out maybe data structures with a table, you kind of understand first will be your header, next will be your rows. So let's go ahead and close that out. We're going to press done. We now have a beautiful table. Look at that strawberry pizza and hamburger. We're going to invoke our custom function. So we're going to go to add column, invoke custom function. And actually, let's go back to name that something a little bit meaningful. So FX food lookup. There we go. Add column, invoke custom function, or function query, FX food lookup. Our column will be food. We just created. No way. No way. We just returned 3 different tables just off that one function. So I'm going to go to remove this now. We're going to expand strawberries, pizza, and kale. You now have a data set. Something that's a little interesting, though, that's kind of got me a little perplexed. When we looked up hamburger, we had 610 rows. All right, that's even more concerning. Let's take a look here, though. I'm only returning 75 rows. Yeah, including all 3 of them. That should be like 1,800, 2,000. We're returning the first 25. This is where we need to start thinking about pagination. So how many pages do we need to iterate through to grab all of these tables? So let's take a look back here at the document object model. We're going to start again. And I'm just going to copy. Let's delete this. Start back from our web link here. Do a new query from the web. Use pizza again. And this time, we're going to go into the actual document object model. So this will be your head, this will be your body, and then this will be all your div classes. So we're going to go into children, and I'm going to need some help here because this is definitely a treacherous path. So we inspect. And whew, that'll be a long one. Got a ways to go. So we're going to go from our body to our second div. Somebody make some notes. Body, second div. What do we have here? And then from our div to our form action to our scripts. We're getting closer. And then from our scripts all the way down to our div class. Page and 8 buttons. Let's try that. Honor. Lose anyone, so we're going to go into our body. Our second div. That's right. Form action. There it is. Welcome. In our scripts. This keeps getting longer and longer. Oh, it's null. There we go. Children. In our table here, the column we want is to be text. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and remove other columns. We're going to reorder this, sort descending. And let's go ahead and change this, then change type to a whole number. Remove errors. I just want that top number, 113. That is insane for hamburgers. And I'm going to do a drill down. So I want that individual value of 113. Going back to our Power Query M advanced editor, we're going to make this a function once again. So we're getting rid of that pizza. We're going to pass that through as our parameter. And food. Top here. So remember how to make a function? course. Nope. Open parenthesis. Pretty good though. I can do this one. Page offset. You're gonna notice all these weird hash marks here within your Power Query M. All that is that it means that there's a space character or a special character. So anytime you see that, it's nothing special. It just shows a space here. So page offset as a number. We're returning the number. Then our goes to symbol. Zoom back out. Press done. Oh, the name food. Oh, I'm sorry. Page offset. Page offset. All right, food. Somebody yell something out. Chicken. Finally. Not strange food. Oh, that's a page offset. That could be why. It's text. Chicken. 277 pages of chicken. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right, let's go ahead and label this then FX page offset. Going back to our query number 2, our source. Now we're going to add a column here. Invoke custom function. Insert in our steps. It's going to be total pages. Function of the query. It's going to be, it's called document. FX lookup. There we go. Invoke. This is the rough one. They all get better from here. All right, so this will be total pages. Function of the query. FX page. Look up that food. 101, 113, 25. Not too shabby. Now we're going to add another column, custom column. We're going to create a list. So this is going to be a squiggly, curly once again. We're going to do 0, ... total pages. When we think about the total pages, we also want to make sure that we don't go over. So if this is starting at a 0-based index, we actually want to have 25. So we do total pages minus 1. Close squiggly, press OK. We've got the green arrow down here. I'll zoom in here for you. Pressing OK. We now have a list. List of numbers from 0 to 100. Expand to new rows. Just keeps getting bigger. There we go. Strawberry, and then our custom, which will be our rows for the page offset. Let's go back to our query string now. If we click up here in the top, we're going to notice, once we throw this here in the notepad, does anyone see it? Offset 25. All right, awesome. So let's change our query. Go back to the food lookup now. We're going to add another parameter. So this is going to be page number as number. For ampersand food, it's going to be ampersand offset equals quotation hashtag page number. Whew. That's done. 2 parameters. Let's delete these steps. So looking at the offset, it was by 25. So now I want to multiply this column by 25. Go up here to our transform. We're going to do statistics, actually just standard, multiply by the value 25. First 25, second 25, etc. Custom column, column from examples, FX food lookup. Our first food is going to be our, why is that column name? There we go. So this will be our food. Our second column will just be our custom. Oh, What is this? Let's take a look at this error. What's going on with this? Anybody know? What happened? It's actually the concatenation of the number in the text. My DBAs, what do we have to do? We have to cast, you're right. So when we kind of think about our solutions, we need to cast. So if I'm going to go back to FX food lookup, our home advanced editor, this page number. In Power Query M, there's to, and then there's from. So in this one, we want to extract. So we want to say text period from our page number. And this will cast it into text. Press done. Back to our query. It's loading, it's loading, it's loading, it's loading, it's loading. I apologize to the FDA for taking up all their bandwidth right now, but we're making magic happen. With hamburgers, strawberries, and kale. Let's go ahead. We're going to back this out here just a little bit if you don't mind. We're going to say less than 50. Less than 50. Come on, come on. There we go. Now have tables. We can press expand once again. I'm just going to right click, remove other columns, expand, press OK. 150 rows. So we went from the initial 75, now we have 150. If you let it go, obviously it'll go out there and grab everything that your heart desires because we now know the number of pages, we now know the query string as far as what parameters it requires. All right, let's decompress. That was a lot. How is everybody feeling about Power Query M? Is anybody currently writing it or using it in their day job? Or is it primarily GUI based? Using the graphical interface? Matt, what are you seeing out in the field?
A lot of people are starting right now because of the seasonality.
Great.
A lot of sports related. Training camps.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you think about like statistics or sports or anything like that, if you have that nice table, you'll be up and running by 30 minutes. Just go out there, grab that data, see what the query string looks like, create a function, pass it through. This is
research sizes. Query starting season starts Friday.
Yeah.
Looking prizes.
Oh, really?
Maybe earnings. Very earnings by 9 cents. So those are the type of things that we would do.
Oh, fantastic. I've done weird things with Power Query M. I've scraped. You need to think about this as to go out there and query every page. So I've done a list of every Nintendo NES game ever created, and then from that page I went into the subpage and I scraped that information. So I did about 1,300 calls. I would not recommend Power BI for something like that, only for the fact that it took probably 4 or 5 hours and a long night of sleep. So, but when I woke up that next morning, it was fantastic. Data set looked great. I was able to kind of, perform some analysis on Nintendo NES. So with that, we're going to move on. From web example, if you enable this preview feature, you will have some fun tonight. I am not a St. Louis pizza guy. I did not grow up here. I don't understand flat pizza, but we're going to go ahead and take a look here at one of my kind of favorite places. And this window, there we go. The Blackthorn Pizza Pub. If you're ever in the Tower Grove South area, fantastic pizza. Fantastic. Makes it feel like home. So we're going to do yelp.com/biz, the Blackthorn Pizza and Pub. Jump back into our Power Query. I'm going to go ahead and delete this here if you don't mind. Just clear up the space a little bit. Do new query from the web. Paste that link in, Blackthorn Pub and Pizza. You can type in whatever you want. Go out the Yelp and you can kind of pull in whatever string. Navigator. Here we go. Documents. Remember, this is our header, our body, our HTML document object. Our hours. I mean, that's the table. And then just table 1, 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 stars. I mean, I want to know the reviews. What are people saying? Like that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm going to click up here on web view. Matt, while you're here, I'm just going to say it. Why are you guys still using Internet Explorer? I thought we moved on to Edge by now. Yeah, it's killing me every time I have to use it. So we're going to do extract table using examples. This is a lot of fun now. Who's familiar with Excel's flash fill? You start typing something and it starts returning something for you. Oh, it's so good. I'm going to scroll down here in this window, and we're going to take a look here at the first review. There we go. 5 stars. One of the things I love about St. Louis is that every pizza place is so different. Oh, I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on column 1, and I'm going to call this one review. I'm going to select one of the things I love all the way down to her last word. I'm going to paste that in my review now. Did select that correct. Yep. Come on. That got a lot bigger than it needed to be. Something's going on here, Matt. Sorry to pick on you, man. I just haven't seen you in a minute. There we go. Finally pasted. All right, it didn't return anything. Oh, this next guy, Jason, did not have a good time. So we're going to copy his response. We're going to paste him on row number 2. Look at that. Flash filled. We now have every review. So this wasn't a structured data table, but it's now going out there and grabbing the information for us based on the patterns. All right, next one, I need to know the date. Is this place getting better or worse over time? So let's go ahead and add another column. We're going to call this one just review date. Why not? Our first one is going to be 2/24/2018. Press enter. Nothing. All right, let's try it again. 7/7/2018. Flash fill, just like that. I'm digging it. Let's press OK. Let's get our data table. There we go. There are reviews. And there are review dates. Hold on. Something's wrong. 20 rows. That was a lot more than 20 reviews, if I recall. Let's take a look back here. 323 reviews. We have to do a little bit of what? Pagination. You're right. We need to get that number. So thinking about this, we already know that this page is just not structured to our liking. So I'm going to copy this query here. If you don't mind, I'm going to paste it. I'm just going to create kind of a separate one. I'm going to delete these 2 in our applied steps. I'm just going to do delete until end. Oh, it's beautiful. That's what I love to see. That is just pure HTML returned into Power Query. So if we know there are tags, then we know that we can go out and get that information. I'm going to go back to Google Chrome. 323 reviews. I like that number. I'm going to press inspect. Wow, look at that. Review counter rating qualifier. But there's only one of those on this page. So let's do a FX. So from our source, we're going to try this text period between delimiters. So Power Query it is, you can just kind of think of like proper casing. So anytime you start a new word, uppercase. Move on to the next one. So our source is going to be our HTML code. And then our first delimiter is going to be a review count rating qualifier. Our second, let's go ahead and do just that closed caret. And let's see how this looks. 323 reviews. All right. So we're getting that text between the delimiter. I want this to be a little bit cleaner though. So I'm going to do double quotation, ampersand, carrots. Oh, did I miss one? Yeah. There we go. And then that last one we really don't need is going to be reviews. So space reviews. 123. Not too shabby. So if we do a number.from to cast this, there we go, upper left. It cleaned up any of that spacing. I'm gonna keep going on this one now. I'm not done with that string yet. So 323, we need to think how many results are returned per page. 20, right? So looking now at our query string, put that up. Our query starts at the question mark. Start equals 20. Now we can pass in a value, 20, 40, 60. We'll keep moving on to the next page. Let's go back to that then. So we need to make sure we don't exceed that boundary. So let's do a divide by 20. There we go, 16.15. Well, now we need to do number, period, round up. We're going to just keep nesting. 17. And then now we're going to do list dot numbers. Our starting number is going to be 0. Ending number is going to be 17. We're going to do it by 20. List of numbers. 323 rounded up, or after divided by 20, we're going to round that up, create a list of numbers. Our starting point will be 0, ending point will be 17, and we'll times that by 20. I wouldn't always recommend nesting functions, but I just need to show you guys what's possible. So we're going to convert this then just to a table. We now have our table. We have our previous query here now. Let's create a function out of this. So this is going to be, Alan, what do we start out with? Let's see. Business name as text. And then, does anybody remember the name of this symbol after the function? What is it? It's the equal sign and the greater. It's called the goes to. Close that out there. Press done. Actually, we need business name as text. And we'll also do page offset as. Copy this. This way you can have a dynamic. You can pass through any business name that you want. If you're an Emos fan, you can do that if you like. And where is it? Query equals starts. Yep. Starts. Quotation ampersand. Page offset as number. Here we go. Look good? Page offset? DBAs? Something wrong here? Got text and I have a number. Past. Let's do a text period from. Offset. Excellent. There we go. So we'll call this our FX Yelp lookup. Back to our page here. We just do invoke custom column. This will be reviews. FX Yelp lookup. Name of the business. We're going to do the Blackthorn Pub and Pizza in St. Louis. And our starting number will just be our page offset. It was already done by the time I zoomed in. That was a good one. Let me delete this other column just to keep it nice and pretty. Expand, review date. All right, review date looks pretty good. I'm noticing just a lot of spacing. Also noticing this other weird stuff here. Update or review. Oh, that's not going to be good. So we're going to need to go to our add column, come from examples from selection. Let's take a look here. So flash fill once again in Power Query 2/24/2018. Oh, it's got it. 4/15/2018. Looking good. That doesn't look right. Transform review date. No, didn't quite get it. Transform text.start review date 9. Oh. 199 plus. Yeah. I know it'll show like the first like 199 in some data sets, and others might just be abbreviated. All right, so first 9 characters. Well, that doesn't really work because, I mean, if we have a double-digit month, we need 10. Kind of understanding a little bit more about Power Query M and how to read it. Text.start review date 9. Come up here, change it to a 10. We are off to the races. Change type to date. Now have dates, no errors. I'm going to remove this column. I'm going to transform clean this data reviews. There we go. Now I have all our reviews and all the dates are completed. So we're thinking about going out there and collecting information like this. You can start thinking about maybe doing text sentiment analysis or extracting keywords. So if you're looking at your business reviews or you're looking at just the best pizza places in town, pass them through. And then maybe use the text sentiment analysis API from Azure. That's a fantastic little tool if you just want to get your feet wet kind of in this space. And up next, this will not be for the faint of heart, recursive functions. Yeah, go ahead.
What if
Query string, I mean, you can do post request. So, I mean, if you were to get to that point where you wanted to send kind of information to the web page and have it return, you can definitely do that. It gets a little bit hairy and complicated. Things that I would kind of recommend is following guys like Chris Webb, kind of the book that I brought for this evening. He's got some really good articles in terms of like using the headers or setting API keys and things like that. What I would kind of recommend Power Query for, though, since it's not physically storing the data, you just kind of figure out how large the data set's going to be and if it is really the best kind of long term. For the examples tonight, I think it's really just a great way to kind of get involved in the language by just going out and looking at pages that aren't necessarily structured. Right. So that's kind of how I would approach it. All right, recursive functions. This is for the devs out there. It is possible to perform looping in Power Query M. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. We're going to do a new query from web. We're just jumping right in. So we're going to do, actually, let me close out of that. New query, blank query. Home, advanced editor. So our let source. So we're just typing web.contents. The HTTP google.com/search != and then this will be our string. There we go, string val, comma, next line. We're going to create our own function here, so we're going to call this get hyperlink. This is going to pass through counter as number. Symbol, once again. This is going to be hyperlink equals text period between delimiters. This is going to be from our source. for the hrefs, was squiggly. We're going to do index position of 0. And we're going to do in. Let me make sure I got that led. If hyperlink equals blank string, then else list dot combine to hyperlink to recursion. So we're going to use the @ symbol, get hyperlink. Close that out. Output equals get hyperlink starting from 0. It is a programming language. For as much as people tell you that it's a querying language, you can do phenomenal things. At the end of the day, yes, you are returning a data set, either a single value, a table, a list, but the possibilities are endless. I just want to kind of show that here. So up the top, we need to create our kind of our values here. So we're going to do string val as text. What symbol? We're getting it. All right, where's our error here? Oh, sorry, equal sign. Counter as number. Ah. Oh, there we go. Counter plus 1. Still yelling. No errors. Finally. Hyperlink wasn't recognized. Didn't do the proper. There we go. You don't uppercase. Press done. Whew. String val. What do you guys want me to look up on Google? Anything? Earnings release. All right. Not good. That's not good. Not getting anything out of this. What's going on here? All right, so let's do back to our query. Do text period from binary, change that back to a binary file. Query of earnings release. Just starting out at 0. Well, that's not good. So if we notice here, we're not actually iterating. So we'll do a counter right there. Invoke function. Oh, it's killing me. All right, let me copy this. There we go. We're just jumping back to it. Whew. There. Earnings release. Every URL returned on the first page. Let me go back to the Power Query M code here. I just want to kind of go through this here just so that we know what is going on. First things first, we create a parameter search as text. So we're going to pass through our value. We're concatenating it with the search string on Google. So our search, our get hyperlink. So now we're nesting functions within a function. So I mean, you can keep going. You can do all your pagination within one kind of code set. So we're going to do X as a number. Then we're going to say go out and do every text between the delimiter of URL question mark Q equals and then ending at the ampersand. The last argument in text between delimiters is going to be the number that you would like to start at. So as we're doing recursion, we're adding, start at 0, go to 1, go to 2, grab me all of the links. If hyperlink equals blank, you always need to have an exit in your recursive code. Otherwise, it'll just go on for infinity. It'll never stop. It doesn't mean that it'll go to the next page. It just means that it'll be stuck. It won't know when to end. So our list.combine, we're going to take the first hyperlink that's returned in that 0 index, and it'll be the second link, the third. We're just going to keep going on this get hyperlink x plus 1. So our @ symbol tells it, all right, you made it here, go back up, do the function again. Keep doing it again until you reach that exit point. Our output is just going to be our starting point. So if you notice here, the code isn't really going like top to bottom. It's kind of going top. It's skipping the entire middle portion. It's going to the get hyperlink at the bottom 0, and then it's calling itself. And then it's doing it until the very end, and then returning the output. So our earnings reports, all of the hyperlinks that are listed there. You can kind of see here NASDAQ, just web cache, earnings date. If there's a particular company, I mean, we can do Pepsi earnings. See what that looks like. There we go, Q2. So kind of what I'm working for a digital marketing company now, so thinking about how I could apply this, I can go out to any web search and I can see what are the top results on those pages. Maybe you want to look at the top 25, maybe you want to get into the pagination of saying, give me every result that's possibly out there. 100% dependent upon how much time you want to wait for those queries to return. Just is sending the request via Internet Explorer, so that's kind of like a buzzkill. But once it's done, I mean, you can do anything. All right, so I will go ahead. Kind of close up shop, just debrief. That was a lot of Power Query on for me tonight. How's everybody feeling? Good? It is a language, right? I mean, this is a query language, so what is the future of Power Query M? It would be MVBAs. People that are specialized in writing M code, they're going to go into the queries and optimize it. That's the new future. IntelliSense. I hate having to type that by myself and remember all that. That is a lot. But you know what? Right now I have to do it. There's no IntelliSense. It's not typing it for me. I know there are packs out there for Visual Studio that will do that for you. Just kind of one thing to think about. Job postings. Good recruiters are starting to take notice. I'm starting to see recruiters say, has Power Query experience, has M experience. There's not a lot, but it's starting to show up. I'll take your resume or LinkedIn. If you're currently using Power Query M or just Power Query in general, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's just within this application. No, it's a skill. It's code that you can write. It's kind of seeing what is possible within kind of both the GUI and just building your own custom solutions. Questions, suggestions, or if you think I'm crazy, what do you got?
Be really helpful to get key points.
Oh yeah.
And it's also partly by work.
Oh no, it's fast-paced. So I've got all the examples in the code, and you can kind of send it out post-meeting too. So it gets there.
Is there any, piggybacking on that, is there any sort of structured book, or is there a book you would recommend, or a series of books, or blogs? How do you build your chops?
Chris Webb, right down here, Chris Webb, his book, I would say the first half is garbage. It's not because of him, it's because Microsoft is moving so fast that it's already out of date. The M language itself, he is fantastic. He is incredible. Another guy, Miguel Escobar from Power User, and then if you've heard of Ken Coles from kind of Excel Guru, those are the kind of the three guys that are leading the charge right now. I think that they have recognized that it is a space that is going to be important in the future. VBA, Ian Allen, I mean, that's our world. I've reduced writing it by like 95%. I just don't need it anymore. Now that I've kind of taken on M, the future is wide open. That is like the next destination, or kind of where we're going. When I think about like the MVBA, I mean, that's going to be a possibility at some point here. It's not that we're coming for anybody's jobs, instead we're creating new ones, new opportunities. So that's the things that I'm excited for. I would definitely recommend Chris Webb, Ken Coles, Miguel Escobar. How I would recommend building your chops? Honestly, just go out there. Just find a data set that looks like it could be a challenge. I share this one here if anybody wants to write these down. I went out and grabbed all of the lotto numbers and then the temperature variance for those days up in New York. If you play these numbers on any day for the temperature between 48 and 63, you have a pretty good chance of winning the lottery that day. 2 different data sets. Just how can I tie these together? What are your lotto numbers? In terms of when we're talking about things that I would definitely not recommend. Let me find that here. Pull this up here for us. Take just a minute. Here we go. So Nintendo BIS Entertainment System. Press power. We now have all the Nintendo games. I went out there and I grabbed the link of that URL for each one of these, and then that way I could pass it through to a table and I could show the reviews. So if you're going out there and grabbing a URL or a href, returns as a JPEG, returns as a GIF, you can then pass that through PowerBI as an image. So I click on any one of these dynamically. So thinking about pagination, I went out and grabbed every detail, and then I'd go into every game and every page's sub-detail. I stored that as a table, and then that way at the very end I was able to append all of those tables together to create this massive data set. So I probably did, I don't know, 1,300, 1,500 calls, went to bed, woke up, here we are. That way you can kind of analyze just abstract data sets, like who's looking up Nintendo NES games, like who does that? You know, that's just where I sit in this industry. But that's how I would kind of recommend, just find something that is a challenge and take that on. I think the from web examples is like a fun one to do. Oh, not at all. That's going. Yeah. Yeah, it's just stored in the actual PBIX file itself. It doesn't live anywhere. It's just stored within PowerBI service now that's done that. I don't know. It's voodoo magic. Yeah, like I could do a scheduled refresh in PowerBI service. Trying to think about like the legality of things. Like let's not abuse the open source of the internet. Where I would kind of be a little bit build the model how you would like to have it at the very end, and maybe present it to like a dev team to actually execute. Say, can you go out here and grab this data set, or is this even possible? Weird things. That's where I kind of cautious. How many times you're calling? Yeah. But yeah, like smaller things, maybe like the weather, something like that, like the 7-day forecast. Yeah, you can definitely get that set up on like a scheduled event. Maybe Power BI dashboard. All right, any other questions, thoughts? Good.
So far, like the black hole account, be able to say, create the last 30 days, and it would always just give you the last 30 days.
Yeah, you create that as just a filter kind of review date.
If you did do that right now with that, query, what happens if they add, there's additional review?
Internet's always breaking, yeah.
You're going to only get 320.
No. Yeah, because that query will go out and call that page just as it currently exists. So that front page will say 323. Next time it goes out there and refreshes 346. Oh, it's done. And you've kind of done the mathematic wizardry, dividing by 20, putting that list. So it's 100% fine. I mean, I kind of like what I've done with a local pizza shop guy is we're trying to look at, what is the correlation of his reviews? Like, what are keywords that he can maybe go out and bid on? Great service. Kyle, great pizza, great environment. Is he selling that to his clients, maybe through like online advertising? So that's kind of the weird text center analysis and keyword extraction stuff kind of build into. But I think showing somebody the possibilities goes a long way. Great question, though. What else? Go ahead.
Just to add to that, there's also incremental refresh that they're doing a lot of things. You have your data, your reviews from the last year, and then you can go out and get an incremental refresh of just you're not constantly going through your whole thing. You're just getting.
Excellent. All right. Well, then I am closing up shop. Thank you, everyone. Oh, go ahead.
So when you're going to be storing server that impacted the RBS service or the server that has those using.
This is just all on your machine from within desktop. Are you talking about whenever you've uploaded it?
Yeah, no,
Oh, the query itself? I mean, it's just being loaded within the PowerBI desktop application. You know, I mean, your IP address. Yeah, it's still being sent via Internet Explorer. That's still kind of their subprogram within it. So
What you're saying is it's hit some Delta server.
yeah. I mean, you're sending the response via your Internet. I mean, that hasn't changed. So you can't be a mystery in the night or anything like that. Excellent. Well, thank you, everyone, for your time tonight. I'll hand it back to Gary.
Thanks so much, Alex. If you all please fill out your evaluations, and then we'll have a wrap-up time. Is anybody here?
Alan, how's the Power BI going?
Better.
Better?
Yeah.
You liking it?
Well, since that's what I do about